In this video I'm going to show you how to draw a right triangle, and then I'll show you how the altitude of the right triangle divides it into similar triangles. So I have two pieces of cardstock. Now cardstock is just thicker than normal paper. And it's really easy to use cardstock to draw right triangles. And the thing is, with cardstock, as with all paper, each corner is 90 degrees. And I like using cardstock because it's easier to trace around. So I'm just tracing a right triangle like that. And then, let's see, I actually want it to be a little more this way. Okay, so there's my right triangle. And then to draw the altitude, you can use your cardstock again. And you're essentially using it as like a square for carpentry. And you could also actually just construct the altitude, but for our purposes, I'm just using this method. Okay, so here is our right triangle, A, B, and I'm labeling inside each one of these, D, D. Okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut this guy out. I'm going to use my other piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to trace around this triangle. And this is not an official geometry construction techniques. This is just kind of a quick way to create the tools needed to illustrate the right triangles and the similarity and all that. Okay, so this is also triangle A, B, C. Okay, so notice right there. And I'm going to cut this larger triangle, this green one, up the altitude, and that's going to make two other triangles. Okay, so now really we have three different triangles. And these two smaller triangles came from the larger triangle by cutting the altitude. And I just want to show how these triangles are all similar to each other. Okay, now it looks like I'm going to have to do a reflection. Let's just deal with this medium-sized triangle. So I'm going to flip the triangle over, and look at what happens. See how you have similar triangles here? And let me label these points on the other side. This is A, C, and D. All right. Oh, let me draw that altitude in again. So this is point D here. Okay. So you can see what I did? I had this triangle ACD, and I simply did a reflection by flipping it over. Then you can see how easily it's similar now to triangle ABC. Okay. Now let's look at this triangle here, this triangle BCD. It looks like I'm going to need to do a reflection and then a rotation. And I'll line it up the same way as the other triangle. So now you can see that this triangle is similar as well to triangle ABC. Now I'll flip it back over, and I'm going to write the angle labels here on the other side of the triangle. So now you can see how it works when you line it up. See that this angle C actually maps to A. And then the D would map to the C, and B maps to itself. Okay? Now let's put all three together. I'll just draw this line to emphasize it a little more. And you can see that all three triangles are similar to each other.